Hey guys, it's Yvette, and I'm sitting here with Mr. JB. Let me see if I can get him in the picture. Hi, buddy. Hi. This is like my little pile of stuff from opening things. Why don't I just slam things around and freak everybody out on the internet? Yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing, and I'm really glad that Jellybean is sitting here with me because it'll make it much more interesting while I'm doing this. I've seen some other people doing this on YouTube. A few of the people that I follow and watch all the time. And so this weekend, what really latched me onto it was I saw Abidabs, Miss Abby over on Abidabs, doing this 30 random things you may not know about me. And so it's sort of like a little getting to know you type of thing. And I thought that it would be really fun to do that with you guys. And then I'm going to nominate 2 or 3 other bloggers down below, and hopefully they will participate as well. So I do have it. I have some things written down, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking down at. I'm looking at my list, and I did not write these things down in any particular order. And by no means does this mean you're gonna know every single thing about me. And look at this. Look at what he's done to us now. Now he's turned his little booty to us. I'm telling you, kitty cats. Especially this one right here. Okay, so first fact about me is that I grew up down in Louisiana. I was born in Lafayette, Louisiana, and I grew up for the most part in Eunice, Louisiana, and then lived very briefly in Lafayette again before moving away. And I moved to Tucson, Arizona with my best friend, and that's where I met my husband. I met him at Jack in the Box in Tucson, and yeah, so we ended up staying together. She went back home. We moved in together and got engaged maybe a year later. I don't even think it was that long. Almost, but not quite that long. Maybe like, 10, 11 months later, something like that. And so we just lived together for a little bit because I wanted to get married in Louisiana, and he was in college at the time. So we waited until he graduated, and then we got married. We've been married, it'll be 25 years in March of 2019. And yeah, so I've been with him almost my whole life. Longer than I was with my parents. So that's basically like where I grew up and how I met Jim. Now, a little bit about Jim. Jim is he's so irritating because he can do anything. Like, really, he is. I don't know anybody on earth smarter than him. I really don't. He's just the smartest person I know, and you need something fixed, and he can fix it. Anything. Doesn't matter what it is. He can fix anything. But the thing that's really annoying about him is that he will have to fix it right this second. It's not gonna, so he's also not gonna be one of those ones that you have to keep reminding, hey, remember that thing that broke? No. I don't even care. Like, we could get home and it's pouring down rain and somebody has like thrown a wrapper in our yard. He will go out in the pouring rain and pick up the wrapper and bring it into the house to throw it away because that just cannot be in the yard. So, he's almost too perfect, I guess is what I'm saying. But, of course, I love him to bits. Otherwise, obviously we wouldn't have been together this long. So, I am the oldest of 4 kids. 5 kids. It's really weird. It's hard for me to say because here's the thing. I was born, and then my brother Steven was born, and then our parents got divorced. I was about 7 years old. Was I 7 years old when they got divorced? I want to say. I used to know this like back of my hand, but now I don't remember anything. I mean, like nothing. So anyway, they got divorced. My dad remarried, and the lady that he married had a daughter. And so then I had a stepsister, right? And my stepsister, Yvonne, she passed away, gosh, in 2012, I think. And that was when I was living in Sydney at the time. And so that was Yvonne. And unfortunately, she's no longer with us. And it's interesting the times that I'll remember her. It's funny how life goes. I don't know. It's so hard to explain. Anyway, so then my mom remarried, and she had 2 kids, my brother George and my sister Theresa. And she started having, like, George was born when I was 11, and Theresa was born when I was like almost 14 years old. So yeah, I'm not going to even go into all of that because I've told so many stories about them that they're probably all like, will you just stop? Just stop. But I love them like, I love them like I was their mama. I'm not kidding. I love George and Theresa. They just, anyway. And more so because Stephen doesn't talk to us anymore. I'm not even going to get into that, but, you know, if you want to know family drama, I could write a book. So that's my family. My sister Theresa has got 3 lovely little girls. She's got Riley, Abigail, and Charlie. And my brother and his wife just had a baby. Well, just had a baby. He's going to be 2 in a week or so. His name's Michael. And yeah, so there you go. There's that part of the family. And well, I should say that Stephen also has 2 girls. They're totally grown up by now. One of them is about to graduate from college, and one graduated from high school just this past May. So yes, lots of nieces and nephews. I do not have any children, at least not human children. As far as kitty cats go, Jim and I had Patches and Cosmo for years. We had them from the time that they were kittens, and they passed away when they were 18 and 19 years old. One of the hardest things that I've ever had to go through, and it was quite a while before I was ready to have more. And I'm not gonna cry right now. But still to this day, I mean, I'll still think about Patches and Cosmo, my little Mo-Man and my little Patches. They were just adorable. If I could find pictures of them, I'll put them here so you can see them. And of course, now we've got our Jellybean, our Sami, and our Smudgie. We're very, very happy with them. We love them to bits. And we spoiled them rotten. Let's see. Let me get back to my list. Oh, so another thing that you may or may not know about me is that Jim and I lived in Sydney, Australia for 3 years, from 2012 to 2015. And so we've been back now probably longer than we were in Sydney, and time just flies by so fast. It's unbelievable. Made so many lovely friends in Sydney and totally miss them. And I'll be going back for a visit in February. And yes, I can't wait to see my friends. And yeah, that's going to be great. I'm so excited about that. Okay, well, here's one thing that I thought that I would share. I don't know that everybody would share it. Personally, it's part of my life. And so whatever, let me just turn this, since he left, I don't have to have you looking out the window. But I have, you know, for pretty much all my life, probably from the time that, and I think this is crooked. It's crooked because I was, there we go. I think that's better. Okay. But I was, probably from the time I was in 1st grade, I would say, I've always been overweight. There was a brief time in high school when I had, there was a friend of mine and I who decided that we were just going to stop eating and see who could lose more weight. Really smart, right? Because we were kids. And so anyway, it was basically starved ourselves to death until, you know, we were thin, or thinner than we were. Yeah, so for a brief time, I had lost weight and then gained it all back again, plus, you know, 1,000,000 pounds more or whatever. And so when I was 27 years old, I was diagnosed as diabetic. And I kind of figured at some point in my life that I would be diabetic because everybody pretty much on my mom's side and my dad's side are like all diabetic. So, you know, I mean, you kind of figure that it's going to happen, but I didn't think I was going to be 27 years old. And so my diabetes got to a point where I was referred to as a brittle diabetic because I was on loads of oral medication. I was on insulin twice a day, max dose. They had tried a couple different kinds of insulin, and if you are diabetic, you'll understand this, but my A1C was, you know, hovering right around 11, like all the time. There was nothing. And I was actually going to the gym because I've always been one of those people, at least at that time in my life, that I didn't mind going to the gym. I mean, to me, that was not a big deal. You know, just go for, you know, half hour to an hour, depending on what you're doing, and get it done. And I really enjoyed it at that time. My thing is that I refuse to change how I eat. Probably still that way, you know what I mean? So then I ended up finding out that I was eligible to get gastric bypass. So I did. I got gastric bypass in October of 2009. And yeah, so I mean, for a long time, I want to say at least 5 years, maybe 6 years, I was controlling the diabetes with diet and exercise, and now I mean, once you're diabetic, you're always diabetic. You just have to, you know, work at keeping your numbers where they need to be. And so when I got back to the States, I sort of found out that I was diabetic again to the point of needing medication. So, but apparently that's what happens. Just a bit of water. Hold up. Yeah, so, gosh, sorry. So apparently that just happens. And, yeah, but everything's good. I mean, I'm in control right now and blah, blah, blah. About a couple years after the gastric bypass, I had tummy tuck. That was the worst thing I have ever done in my life. I have never been in so much pain in my life. So whenever you guys see me doing clothing try-ons and I have extra skin back here, yeah, it's just gonna stay there because I am not having elective surgery again. Just not doing it. It's fine. I'm good with it. I may not like to be reminded about it too much, but that's okay. I'm cool. So let's see. Oh, so another thing to know about me. Like I said, I'm going in a pretty random order here. That you probably know is I am very much an advocate for animals, and I am completely against any kind of animal cruelty. My only problem with it is that sometimes it's too much. Like the emotions that I get from it can overwhelm me to the point that I can't act. So it's so crazy. I know I've talked to you guys before about how fascinated I am with serial killers or whatnot, but somebody go and like even look crossways at an animal and I'm done. Okay, so let me just keep going because I'm going to be making a 200-year-old video here. Oh my gosh, I am one of these people who wants to be loved by everybody, and I seek praise from everybody. I've always been like that. Why have I been so needy? I don't know. Something must have happened in my childhood. And so I can get my feelings hurt pretty easily. I find that after I've been on YouTube here, though, for a bit, I have grown a thicker skin. especially after certain things have happened, and it's just things I wasn't prepared for. And so now at least I think I'm at a point where I'm prepared that there are mean people. That's what it is. It's not like it's not going to hurt me anymore, because that's just me. It's just going to happen. But I move on. You know what I mean? Like I can move on. I am able to do that. I don't like antiques or vintage things or anything that's old and was used by somebody else. I like everything brand new. I want brand new stuff. And that's just me. I don't know why. I have just never been into that. Like, people who want to go to, like, any of that stuff. Flea markets. No. Sorry. Not my thing. Give me something new. I want to know nobody's butt's been on it. I don't want somebody's foot in my shoe. Nope. Sorry. Done. I've been crafty since I was little. In fact, when I was a kid, my grandparents on my dad's side would have Christmases where we had to make everything everything that we gave everybody. So even what we got, like, all the adults had to make all the things that they gave to the kids, and the kids had to make stuff for the other kids and the adult. Like, we all had to make for each other. And then that got to a point where I think it was probably overwhelming for everybody. So then I think we, like, pulled names or something. Listen, y'all know how bad my memory is. But the point of the story is we made everything. So I've, like, from pretty young, I've done counted cross stitch, plastic canvas. Those were the main things that we did growing up. But also, I just always have loved things that are creative, like journaling and just making things. Everything. I love it. I just love making things. There you go. I don't eat anything. I'm terrified of food. It's a phobia. I don't know what it is, but, like, if I see something, I don't know anything about it, I don't really know what's in it. Nope, won't touch it. I'm terrified. I remember there was this one girl who was trying to get me to eat a blueberry because she was like, she couldn't believe I'd never eaten a blueberry. And I think it probably took, like, a few times and, like, a couple of weeks before I would ever put it in my mouth. And then the terrible thing was, I hated it. It was so bitter. And I think that's my thing, is everything tastes bitter to me. So, I don't know. Go figure. So anyway, I love being the center of attention. I was in the drama club since I was in middle school. I loved to act. Can't sing, but that's okay. I do anyway. My mom used to tell me that I never met a stranger. I don't know. I'm always been pretty outgoing, and yeah, so that's me. I think I was meant for YouTube. I'm not sure, but, you know, there we go. I love experimenting with hair color. So I have been coloring my hair since I was probably 15 or 16. I really don't remember. Like, every time I say that, I probably make myself younger and younger. Oh, I've been coloring my hair since I was 7. My mom's like, no, you haven't. She's gonna make me sound like a terrible mother. Because that was back in the time when it wasn't cool to, like, color your hair all kinds of colors. But I have colored my hair pretty much. I think all I've ever done is, like, magenta and blue. And I've done purple. And I've done red, obviously. I don't know. To me, it's fun. I think it's fun. And I love doing that. My husband travels a lot for work. He can be gone sometimes for a week, sometimes for a month, on and off. And, yeah, so he travels a lot. And that's how we ended up in Sydney, you know, for his work. So, cooking. In my head, up here, I'm like one of the best cooks that walked the earth. But obviously I'm wrong, because I cook things and they never come out. Like, I just think, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna put this on, and 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 then it just doesn't turn out like it's supposed to. Like, the flavors are wrong, I overcooked something, I undercooked something, it didn't mix right, it just, so, yeah, so now it's like, I just don't like to cook anymore. To me, it's like, I'm so scared of how things are going to come out. And every time I do try something, and it comes out crap again. So, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm going to skip that one because I'm, like, taking forever. Oh, I don't like confrontation. Even though I'm, like, outgoing and I do tell it like it is. Like, if I'm on YouTube here, I feel like if you guys are watching me, then you want to know. You know, like, you want to know what it is. But that's so much different. Like, it's typical of, like, the people who leave comments, and they're behind a keyboard so they can say whatever and they don't care who they hurt and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't go that far. I don't want to hurt anybody. But even though on YouTube I will tell it like it is, quote unquote, I don't like confrontation and I don't like to hurt people. So if I even remotely think that I've hurt somebody or said something that made someone feel bad, oh my gosh, I will just like kick myself until the end of the earth. And yeah, so it's never my intention. One of my worst traits is procrastination. I procrastinate all the time. In fact, I think I'm better now just because I have no time to procrastinate. I have no time for anything. But I remember like signing up for swaps, and then I will, you know, in my head I'm thinking, oh, I've got plenty of time. I've got plenty of time to do this. And then all of a sudden it's like 3 days before you got a mail, and I'm like not going to bed. I'm just a sewing fool for like, you know, 3 days straight. Yeah, so that's terrible. I procrastinate and I hate that. I wish I were not that. I wish I just would just do things, you know, like I set my mind to something and just do it. And I tend to procrastinate. Clutter drives me nuts. And if you saw this place right now, you would wonder how I'm even sitting right here. In fact, I'm wondering how I'm even sitting right here. It gets to a point where I just want to come in, take a big trash bag, and go, shh, and I don't even care what it is. It's just in the trash because I can't deal with it anymore. So I'm kind of at a point right now where I'm just going to start, because I just started giving everything away. You know what I mean? Just to get it out of my face. I don't even care if I love it. I don't care. I mean, I don't do that with fabric, let me just tell you that. But like all of this makeup and stuff, even if I said, oh my gosh, I can't wait till I try that. Yeah, once I get annoyed and I just give it all away. I've been bungee jumping, and I love bungee jumping. I would go again over and over and over and over. I don't know what it was, but I had like this, I wanted to bungee jump for my 40th birthday, and I'm trying to remember, did we not do, I don't think we did it for my 40th because we were in New Zealand. We went to New Zealand for Christmas that year because my birthday is Christmas. And it was snowing. And when we called to book something, they were all booked up. So we ended up not being able to bungee jump for my 40th birthday. But I think the next time we went to New Zealand, we were in Auckland, and I went bungee jumping there. And it was a blast. If I can find that video, I'll put it at the end of this so that you can see that. Okay, so believe it or not, I do not like to spend time grooming. Period. Sometimes it's like I will put off and put off and put off even going to take a shower because I can think of a million other things I would rather be doing. Now, once I'm in the shower, oh my gosh, like I could be in the shower for like 20 minutes and just luxuriate in that. I love when I'm actually in the shower. But I mean, look at my hair. I get out of the shower, I run a comb through it real quick, and then bam, done. Makeup, please God, keep it down to like 5 minutes because I just don't want, to me it's a waste of time. I don't, I put off trimming my toenails for so long that like they're getting like there's like sticking to my socks. It's horrible. And then my fingernails, I will just like bite them, and they're like all ragged and everything, and I know I should like file them so that it'll stop like ripping off, but it's like I just can't even bear to go and do that when I could be sewing, or I don't know. Just, it's so crazy. I don't understand, but that's me. I hate being hot. So I don't exercise anymore. I know I was telling you earlier about how I used to never mind going to the gym. Yeah, I don't go to the gym anymore. I can go a pretty long time without eating regular food. Like if Jim isn't home, I'll eat brie and crackers like every night for dinner. There's nothing to cook. There's nothing to do. I just cut the cheese. Put it on a cracker and bam. We got a meal. I actually like being alone with the kitties. I have no objection to being by myself. I used to think that I would be afraid if I were ever like left alone. But I'm not anymore. I really like downtime like by myself. And I like being with the cats. I like whenever they cuddle all over me and stuff like that. I get a Starbucks every day. I get a venti triple caramel macchiato extra hot every morning on the way to work. Every morning without fail. I don't care if I'm running late. I'm going to stop and get me a coffee. I could sleep all day. I love to sleep. And I have no problem sleeping. For some reason, I don't feel close to anybody. Like, I could sit here and tell you all these things about me. And, you know, I just feel like there's nobody on this earth who really knows me. I just don't. I used to be, like, I don't mind sharing things about myself. And I've always been that way where, you know, I don't really have any, like, huge secrets or anything. I tell anybody anything. But it sort of got burned a little bit. And now... And at this point in my life, I just don't think I'll ever be at a point where I'm comfortable being that way again. So, yeah, I just don't really feel... I don't feel close to anybody. I don't feel like anybody really, really knows me. Like, I haven't shared that of me. There's pieces of me that I'll never share. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just there at this point. And I guess the last thing that I want to share, sort of on that note, is that I suffer from depression and anxiety. And I have actually had that for quite some time now. And I am on Effexor and Wellbutrin for that. I don't really know. I've never like compared myself to anybody else, but sort of like high doses, but they got me to a point where I'm even, and I don't get horribly sad. I do still occasionally will get anxious about things, especially if I feel just lots of pressure from other people. Like if I feel that I'm being judged, that can really throw me into an anxious state. Yeah, so the only reason I'm sharing this is because there are there's a lot of things that are going on in our world in the past few years with people committing suicide. And thankfully, I have never been at that place before. I've never been to a point where I actually contemplated something like that. I have probably been to a point where I thought that there was, like, I had no worth. But the reason why I would share this is because, seriously, like, if somebody is saying something like that to you, or if somebody is, it's not just about being sad. It's not like, my life is so terrible. In fact, at the point where I was probably the worst, I was probably at the best point in my life. And so there's no way to explain this kind of stuff. And there's, so if somebody is saying that they're at that point, do something. Help them. taking medication for that is not a stigma. It's not like there's something wrong with me because I have to do that. You know what I mean? So basically just public service announcement, just to let you know that, you know, it's not something where you can just tell somebody, well, you know, just make up your mind to get up in the morning and have a great day. Well, you know, if it was as simple as that, that'd be awesome. Unfortunately, it's not. And thankfully, I have been on a regime that has really evened me out and made me feel, you know, like even-keeled and not like I'm, you know, anyway, there's no way for me to possibly explain to you the things that happen with me in my head, in my heart. I can't. But I'm just letting you know, these things are real, and we should all support each other instead of judging, because there's only one judge, right? All right, so there's other things I have on this list, but to be honest with you, this thing is at 30 minutes. I think you know plenty about me. You must be bored of tears by now, and I will just talk to you guys later, and I will nominate someone down below, so look for your name. And maybe I'll just scroll it down here so you'll see it. If you're still watching, I don't know. Bye, you guys.